there's one thing that I do a lot of, and that's moving furniture. And I don't know why. Um, Perhaps it's the real thing of, will it change my life in any particular way? And in this case, perhaps it does. I mean, I moved my desk. Previously, I had it sitting on. Previously, I had it sitting towards this wall. Instead, now it's sitting here, and I mean it works. I mean it sits nicely there, and if it sits nicely there, then that's great. It gives me a lot more space. Um, I'm able to move around a little bit more, and you know, at the moment, I've got a tripod set up, and this is where this camera is sitting. It's sitting in a little bit of space, and if I didn't move my desk around like this, then I wouldn't be able to do that. Um, as part of my setup, I used to be able to see my TV. I mean, I've got a good size of TV, and it basically sat in the corner like this, and it works, you know, but perhaps it was a wee bit of a distraction, if I'm sitting at a desk, I'm gonna be doing some work. It's stuff that I actually need to be doing. So over here, currently what I have is two screens. One is a 32 inch, and then I've got the 24 inch, and both are HP. Both do a good job of showing content. One I would have likes of my timeline whenever I'm doing video editing, and then on this screen over here, I would have like a window that shows what my video content is. It works very well. And let's say if I wanted to bring another screen into the equation, I can always use the likes of an iPad. I mean, it works. Um, I also have a laptop. It also works, but generally, for my laptop, I would bring it to different locations to be able to edit or you know do the odds and ends. It just depends, whatever tickles the fancy. Other than that, I can still use this screen that was sitting behind me, and it works as long as it does the job, which I think it's going to do. With me having more space, it can possibly bring my mind to different things. I can set a camera up slightly different. If I want to shoot my computer, then I can. If I want to be on a blank wall, I can. And that's the thing about being able to move furniture. Um, I don't know. I think it's actually this whole furniture moving thing. I think maybe I've inherited it. You know, I think one of my great aunts, she was always for moving the furniture. She'd get my parents to move the furniture, and there's nothing wrong with moving some furniture and getting a whole new perspective on something. You know, could be helping your thinking. You know, it could help you get over that hurdle of, maybe you've got this problem and you need to solve it, and perhaps moving the furniture, can maybe help you think better. Um, but anyways, other than that, I'm talking about stuff. The other things that are on my desk, things that I get great value from. One is this. One thing is this K380. It's a fantastic keyboard. It works. It's small. It's portable. Then I also have the MX Master Mouse, which is the trusted mouse that everybody goes to. And then after that, we have the Stream Deck. I've got my AirPods here. I got iPhone. I've got the likes of my Mac Mini. And then I've got my little mixer. So pretty much everything sits nicely there. I had to dismantle my computer system last week because there was a charity event for somebody that had passed away at my workplace, and we did something in remembrance of him. We did a charity football event, and it was great. Everybody had fun, and I played DJ. I always loved playing music out and about, sharing, some of the great tracks, and letting people have fun. But other than that, that's pretty much what's been on my mind. Last thing, earlier on in the week, I went to a charity shop. I donated stuff. I donated clothes. And by donating clothes and things like that, these things have made this made me think, we have so much in this life. There might be something that would be in your life or in your house or something like that, maybe it's something you don't use anymore. Maybe it's too small. Maybe it's the wrong color. But what came to mind is, if you can't make use of something, if something no longer gives you joy, and you decide that you want to donate it to the likes of a charity, then somebody else can make use of your stuff. They can be used and appreciated, just like you probably used and appreciated at one stage. So, in other words, passing on the joy. Anyways, if this is what I'm going to be doing, I'm thinking of maybe having a look and seeing what more I can go through of my stuff. Perhaps I can make somebody's life better, by donating some of my stuff. Anyways, hope you have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.